am so excited. I'm Michelle from Santa Monica Seafood, and I'm here with this wonderful crew from Pez Cantina and Let It Be. And I just want to do a quick introduction of everyone who's here with us today. So we have Chris, who is going to be our drink master, Chef Bret, who is our fabulous chef, and we're so grateful to be here at his beautiful restaurant with his lovely wife, Lucy. And also Ruth from the Let It Be Foundation. With that, I'd like Ruth to tell you a little bit about Let It Be and what we're doing here today.
Okay, well, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Chef Bret, Chris, Lucy. So this is, first of all, absolutely not Chino. This is downtown LA, and we are at Pez Cantina on this gorgeous patio. So to all of you cooking with us today, new friends and old friends of the foundation, thank you so much for being here. I truly wish you could be here with us. So make sure you make it a point to get down to Pez Cantina soon, because if not, you are missing out. So when you ask what the Let It Be Foundation mission is, it is a foundation that when a child is diagnosed with cancer or another life-threatening illness, the entire family's needs and dynamics are absolutely disrupted. And what they need is a helping hand. The Let It Be Foundation supports the families, not only the sick child, but the entire family, with a focus on the entire family. You see, people often ask me if we help terminal kids. Well, I'm just going to tell you right now that that is a word you should get out of your vocabulary, because terminal, that is God's job. God will tell a child when it's time to go to heaven. As a mom of a cancer child, it is our 15-year-old daughter, Carla, that went to heaven too soon during her fight from brain cancer. And we knew that we couldn't stop. And somehow God put on my heart, as well as my family's heart, the passion and the purpose to keep going. In 2006, the Let It Be Foundation miracle happened. But it didn't just happen because of one family and one child. It takes thousands of hearts and hands to make children smile. Over the last 14 years, we have provided thousands of smiles to kids. We have provided thousands of monthly support, like gas, groceries, house cleaning. And those things can't happen with one family and one child. It truly takes a village. So, speaking of village, I want to make sure, and you know why we're here today. Santa Monica Seafood came alongside of us several years ago, not just providing their financial support, this is fantastic, but what they've also done is provided fabulous seafood for our events. They have made sure that during the holidays, our kids get to eat at restaurants just like this. And because I can keep going on and on and on, and I know all of you friends, the old friends, are saying to yourself, she's not going to be quiet. I am actually ready to get started in cooking with Chef Bret and get this show started. So I'm going to turn it over to our great friends, Santa Monica Seafood, and just say thank you.
Ruth, thank you so much for letting us be here with you again. We have been fortunate enough to be associated with Let It Be for the last 4 years now, and it's been a wonderful experience. She is such a giving and extraordinary leader in this area, and we're so grateful to have the chance to work with her. And I can't believe this, Chef Bret, but you've actually been purchasing your seafood from Santa Monica Seafood for over 20 years.
Over 2 decades, yeah.
Over 2 decades. So this is just friends coming together to do something awesome. Great food for a truly great cause. And we hope that you'll be able to bring some of that home. Even if you can't make it out to the restaurant, you can get a hold of this wonderful seafood and the recipe through our Doc Direct program and through the talent and creativity of Bret and his wonderful wife, Lucy, and Chris, who's going to make us some fabulous margaritas, which is the only reason I'm here today. So with that, let me just turn this over to our professionals and get you guys started with an awesome cooking experience.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's do this. So
All right.
Chris, you're up.
All right.
Should we kill the music or is it okay? Yeah.
First off, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to be part of this event. This is such a beautiful foundation, and yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with our Manga Margarita. For everybody joining us, we should all have the spec sheet on here, and this spec sheet is for 4 margaritas, so I'm going to be doing it for 1 person. So again, we're going to start off with rimming our glass. dip it into our house-made chamoy, and if you don't have any chamoy at home, feel free to just use some honey. Honey works very well in grabbing our salts. I'm also going to be using our Pez Powder Black, which Bret and I kind of started together as a company. We have 3 different flavors. We have a jalapeno and lime, we have a chili and lime, and then we have a chipotle and lime, which we're very proud of. So as you see, our glass is nicely rimmed. You got the chamoy, you got the Pez Powder Black, beautiful combination with the yellow glass.
So what is chamoy?
Chamoy is a, for lack of better words, a kind of tamarind paste that we add agave nectar to, some fresh pineapple juice, sugar, some chili spices, and kind of cook it all together and make it into this beautiful kind of paste that you see right here.
So it's a great glue for like gluing the Pez powder on the rim.
It is a
And
great
if you don't
adhesive.
have, Chris has told me if you don't have chamoy, because not everyone has chamoy in their pantry, honey actually is a great alternative, which I recently learned from Chris. Really grabs it. It's like a nice glue to grab a nice rim on the glass.
And then the combination of sweet and spicy just
Yeah.
works so well with all of our products. So honestly, for any of our margaritas, you could pick and choose what seasoning you like. I like to do the Pez Powder Black with mango and pineapple because the smokiness of it, I feel, really blends well with those particular fruits. But again, it's all flavor profiles, so feel free to go wild with any one of our seasonings. Okay, so
Feel free
first
to
thing
go
we're
wild.
gonna add is 2 ounces of our mango puree. You can kind of see some little seeds in there. I like to add chia seeds because of the nice texture that you get when you mix the mango puree and the chia seeds. It's just absolutely wonderful.
And the chia seeds, you kind of have to hydrate a little bit because when they're raw, they're sort of like hard and crunchy. So if you add them to the liquid for about an hour before, they sort of bloom in the liquid, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. Yes,
Yeah.
they do. And then for those of you at home, I know that we have the spec sheet in front of us. So normally you're going to be adding the mango puree and then some lime juice. But I already added the lime juice to our puree to kind of cut that step out. So we're going to be adding 3 ounces of the puree itself. And then 2 ounces of your favorite tequila. I personally love Coralejo. It's one of my favorite tequila brands. I use it for most of my tequila-based cocktails, but feel free to use whatever tequila you have at home. This one's gonna be reposado because I kind of like the vanilla notes. It works very well with the mango puree.
And I just want to give a shout out because this is one of the only tequilas that is not from tequila. It's actually from Guanajuato, which is my wife's home state. So I got to shout that out. We've actually been down there to the distillery. It's amazing.
We're gonna add some ice to it. And for your margaritas, you definitely want to give it a nice hard shake to activate the citrus. The harder you shake it, the longer you shake it, the better the margarita turns out. All right. And normally I like to purify the pulp, purge the pulp from the actual margarita, but today I'm going to be adding it just into the glass.
So it's got like a nice viscosity too, right?
Yes,
the
it
mango
does.
puree, so it really feels really nice in the mouth. Good mouthfeel.
It adds a very nice kind of, like Bret said, viscosity. It's very thick, kind of creamy margarita. And then as you see, I kind of got our orange slice. I dipped it in the chamoy, then our Pez Powder Black for a nice little garnish. And then I have a tamarindo candy stick. Going to add it right inside of the margarita. There you have it.
Wow.
Easy, simple, delicious margarita. And if you didn't know, we have a nice company called Pez Craft where we kind of created the margaritas for you to be able to take home, make them at your house. Alcohol is already inside, so all you do is you add this to some ice, you shake it up, and you pour it into one of your glasses.
Nice, nice.
So that it makes it very easy for you to enjoy these beautifully crafted margaritas at home. You don't have to go out into a restaurant. You're gonna get the vibe here in beautiful downtown Los Angeles at Pez Cantina on our patio. But if you're not able to make it down here, this is a very nice, close second. Definitely come down here. I'd recommend leaving home with one. We have about 12 different flavors, so again, enjoy.
Awesome, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
They're asking if they can make the mango margarita in advance, or does it need to be made fresh and served right away?
In my personal opinion, most margaritas are going to be better when using fresh product. So I would definitely make the product as fresh and soon as possible and then utilize the product once it's made. You get the best quality margaritas when you're using fresh lime, fresh mango, fresh strawberries, whatever your fruit may be. But I highly recommend it being fresh.
Although just to like, we do what's called pre-batching a lot if we have big parties. So you can get it done somewhat ahead of time, just to make it easy if you have a dinner party. And so,
You definitely can. So if you have a party the next day and you want to kind of pre-batch all of this the night before, definitely feel free to, and make sure it's refrigerated. That's going to help keep the freshness. But you can pre-batch these beforehand. As you see, we did it right here. But I would say you have about a week to 2 weeks before the product actually expires. So I would recommend using it as soon as possible, but you can pre-batch them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, man. Great, dude. I want to drink that, but I think, I was about to grab that, but then Ruth comes over. I know she's like licking her chops. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you for taking one for the team.
Ooh.
How delicious is that?
It's really
Right?
delicious, and I know I can't do this because it's the camera, but I like to lick up the whole rim.
You can do it. I mean, no one's stopping you. Okay,
No,
all right.
No.
And the tamarindo candy actually plays as a straw as well, so that's one of the reasons why I like using them. You actually have to eat the front of the candy.
You have to bite the end off.
You have to,
first.
but it's one of the ways to kind of save the planet, not use a straw. You can use a tamarindo candy stick, and
Or I
it
can
works
save it
both
for
ways.
later when I
Exactly,
need
yeah.
a
There you
little
go,
bit
yeah.
more.
And then
Right?
the tamarindo kind of mixes
Yeah.
into the actual margarita. So
It looks so
beautiful.
nice in the hand-blown, it's actually from Mexico, from
Oh, it's
Guadalajara.
beautiful.
Yeah, really
it's
nice.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's almost too pretty to drink, but
I think you'll manage.
I think I'll manage, especially if I get to help you.
Let me twist
Can
your
I
arm.
drink this in between?
Yes, of course you
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's delicious. Wow.
Our house is your house. That's for you.
Yeah.
Mi casa, su casa.
Sucasa,
that is.
yes.
That's about it. I have.
It cannot be overstated, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Have
so
fun.
wonderful to have you and your husband, Michael, and your son,
Brandon.
here.
Yes.
So nice meeting you. And
Same here.
We're
Thank
so
you so
honored
much
to-
for having
Your
us.
yeah, we're so
support.
honored to do this with you. Looking into what you do, it's just so wonderful. And we've done a lot of charity work in the past. We really love giving our time and energy to doing it, and our venue. And it's just you're doing something so special. We're just really, when Santa Monica Seafood asked me if we were interested in working together, I was like, oh, of course, it was no brainer. So, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Yes.
We are definitely honored to be part of this event. Such
Yeah.
a special
Thank you.
foundation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I've always said from the very beginning, when God uses our gifts and talents to bless others, how can anything go wrong? And what you guys are doing today is using what you've been blessed with
Right.
to provide to others. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
It's the beginning, hopefully, of a brand new relationship. It's
Yes.
just getting
I'm
started.
confident of that for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much.
Well,
No,
should
I
we
don't want this
should
to
we
melt.
start? No, do
No,
it. Should we start
enjoy it.
doing?
Have
Should we start
fun.
getting into our
Enjoy
recipe a little bit here?
Yes, Brett definitely
Okay.
has a nice treat for everybody.
All right. So
Did
now
you know that halibut was my favorite?
I did. So I had a little birdie told me that. So
did?
yeah. I love halibut. I've been using halibut forever, and halibut generally is found in two different areas of the world that we use. We have Alaskan halibut, and you have a halibut like local halibut, which you find anywhere from Los Angeles down to Mexico. This is Alaskan halibut, so you can see it's a little bit bigger fillet, and I tend to like this better. Local halibut though is really nice, a thinner fillet. It sautés nice. This could be grilled or sautéed. It's a very flaky fish. You got to be careful with it, but it's amazing. It's one of my favorites.
What's the flavor profile on it?
It's super flaky and white, and it's very mild. I would say it's like an intro level, kind of fish. Definitely not like a more oily. I don't want to say fishy, but more seafood forward kind of flavor, like a yellowtail or like a mackerel or even ahi tunas that. Generally the darker the meat, I want to say stronger, the more of a seafood flavor it has. Super light and mild, it's really great. And so, yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, and so
Beautiful looking fish.
yeah, so we've also got these great, they're called Manila Clams. And I like Manila Clams because the meat is very big for the size shell. So you've got clams, Manila Clams, you've got cherry stones, which are this big, you've got surf clams, which are huge. You've got the Gyoda clams, which are those big elephant-looking clams. So there's tons of different clams, but I like these, especially for this dish, because they are big and they're easy to eat. We've also got one of my favorite ingredients called salt cod. In Spanish, it's called bacalao. And one dish I learned when I studied in France for a couple of years. It's a dish called brawn dod. And brawn dod is basically salt cod mashed potatoes. It's great. It's like creamy, it's garlicky. It's got the salt cod. Now salt cod, so by itself, so you get it in these cute little boxes. Have you ever used it before? Or?
I have not.
Okay.
And where can you find those?
So salt cod you can of course find at Santa Monica Seafood.
Okay.
You can find us at probably Gelson's, Whole Foods, online.
Okay.
You definitely probably can find it in any like Ralph's or like I don't want to say general supermarket, but probably specialty.
So in Chino Hills, where
yeah.
we're from, we
Yeah.
might have a little harder time finding
I don't
it. So
think
that's
so.
why we
Do
need
you-
partners like Santa Monica
Yeah,
Seafood.
right, exactly. There we
Yes,
go. Yeah,
yes.
and they've got a couple of great retail stores as well, so you can find that there. I just love it. I mean, when you go to Mexico or in Spain, they use it a lot, or you find them hanging in fillets at room temperature, just for days because they're salted. So what they do is they're salted. They're completely salted. So I'll kind of pull this out. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it's very, very salty. Like this is not ready to eat at all. So what we do is we actually take the salt cod, and I'm actually not going to make the salt cod puree, but I'm explaining how to do it. What you want to do is you want to put it in cold water overnight, and then the next day you want to strain it out. And if you can do that for 2 days, great. If not, just leave it in cold running water for a little while, just to get that salt out of there, and kind of break it up a little bit, and just kind of work it out.
And how long is that good for in your refrigerator?
So in this state, salted, literally it's probably good for like years.
Wow.
I mean,
And
it's
you
so
keep it in the
salty.
refrigerator?
Yes, keep it in the refrigerator. Yes, yeah.
I've preserved lemons before.
Yeah.
So
In salt or
in that salt,
yeah,
yes. in
and some
salt.
sugar as well, or
No sugar.
just salt. Okay.
So, is it taste like pure salt?
No, hardly. I mean, it's got, it adds such an umami kind of element to the mashed potatoes because we do put a little bit of salt in there, but that naturally fermented kind of like, I think I love like those fermented kind of things like fish sauce or soy sauce is fermented or, these different things. Get out of here, you little critter.
Are we on fly watch?
Yeah.
Gotta put
it's
this into use.
Right? So literally it's kind of like, prosciutto. You take prosciutto, you cure it, you hang it. Or salami. It's the same. It's almost like a fish salami if you think about it. It's like salted and cured. And so, yeah, so we do that. And once it's in the water, we take it out and we put it with cream and garlic and bay leaf. I have all the things on the recipe here.
Can't wait.
Cream, garlic, bay leaf. I like to put a good amount of black pepper in there, no salt. And we basically cook it in the heavy cream, so like, whipping cream or heavy cream. And you cook it for about 20, 25 minutes until it's kind of falling apart and shredding. And you want it to fall apart. And then we just basically puree it in like a food processor, like your Roboku or Cuisinart or whatever. And you keep that puree and you're ready to go. So you take that puree and you make mashed potatoes. I like to use Yukon Gold mashed potatoes, because they're just sort of yellow and nutty and they're buttery and it's an amazing product, And so we'll basically make the mashed potatoes, add a scoop of the puree in there, and then stir it in, check your seasoning, and that's it. Very, very simple. So that's that. So we've also got some fresh peas, pea shoots or pea sprouts, which are great. They're like kind of the tops of the pea plant. We've got shallots. We've got garlic chives, which also known as Japanese like nira chives. This is a squid ink sauce, and it's basically squid ink. I love using squid ink because the black, like, it's so graphic and cool looking on the plate. And it's basically squid ink and milk. It sounds weird, but squid ink doesn't have a lot of flavor at all. It's like it really doesn't have any flavor. A little bit of a seafood flavor, but it makes for a great color and a great presentation. We've got extra virgin olive oil. We've got some white wine, some lemon, of course, salt, pepper, the cream. Our chorizo, which we make homemade. So pork and spices and vinegar and garlic, and it's awesome.
I saw a substitution on that.
Yes, we can use soy riso.
Yes,
Yes.
I
I
didn't
actually-
know that existed.
As a chef, I kind of was like, when soy riso started becoming popular, I was like, soy riso, actually it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We buy one from our local market. I won't say the name, but we'll do it with eggs or whatever, and it's amazing. So if you don't want meat, this is a great alternative.
You can also get a plant-based chorizo, which is delicious as well.
Yeah.
If you're trying to shy away from soy.
So you want to jump in here, or do you?
I'd love to.
Okay, why don't you just go on this side of me over here?
All right.
And I'm gonna have you. So I had these guys on because I had to get them hot. And so what I'm gonna have you do is on the back burner over here, hopefully you feel comfortable doing that, we're gonna do the chorizo and clam sauce.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I wanna make this easier. Why don't we put this guy here?
Did you bring the step stool?
And let's see here. Well, I got my little bowl here, but
Okay.
and now, so here's your towel, because I don't want you to, it's actually pretty hot, so grab that. And then, are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right.
So you wanna put your towel in your left hand.
Okay.
That way you have your versatile right hand ready to go. So kind of grab that, just get your bearings on that. And I'll put the oil in there for you. So we're gonna add a little bit of oil just for the, and you can see it's already kind of smoking a little bit. I'm gonna turn it up. Just be careful, this is like a little campfire stove. All right, yes, I'm putting my finger in the flame. Do not do that at home. All right, so, and I'm gonna put the chorizo in there. Now I'm gonna just be really careful because it is hot. And what I wanna do is I wanna cook the chorizo first. So this is raw pork, right? I'm not gonna use all that. And if you feel comfortable, just kind of ground it, kind of move it around.
Yep.
We want to cook that first before we put the clams in there because the clams are going to open pretty quick. And this is a sauce we can actually get it done ahead of time, and you can set it aside while you're doing your fish.
Fantastic.
It smells absolutely delicious.
So good, I know. My sous chef Josie, that's her recipe. It's amazing, I love it. And so the thing about fish is that people always ask me, how do you cook fish really well? And I think the number one thing is, rarely do you want to cook fish slowly. It's always like hot, fast. You want to, fish is very delicate. It's not like you don't really braise fish. Yes, we poach sometimes, but those are pretty kind of far and few between things. So what we're gonna do is we have a really hot pan here, and this halibut, as thick as it is, it's gonna take about 6 minutes. So that's gonna take about the same amount of time. So I'm gonna get that going as well.
So, Chef, if
Yeah.
you do cook it slow, which we're not supposed to do,
Right.
is that what creates it to be tough?
Yes. Also dries it out.
Okay.
So every fish has like different oil content. Halibut can tend to be, it could be dry if you overcook it. It doesn't have a lot of oil. So like a hamachi or like a, yellowtail or even like swordfish have a higher like oil content, where halibut's a little bit more lean. I want to say like these fast moving, big, warm water fish, like you get in the, the pollen, but salmon also is a very strong fish, has a lot of oil content. So, all right, this pan is very hot, and I'm using a non-stick pan here because it just makes things a lot easier. If you're not using a non-stick pan, you got to make sure it is blazing hot,
Especially
otherwise
when you
it'll
send
stick.
those dishes into the kitchen.
Yes,
Okay,
and another
thank you.
secret about the fish is that you want to make sure that it's nice and dry, because what happens is that if it'll stick, it'll splatter, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna put a little oil in there.
And I know you said 6 minutes. Is that
Yeah.
6 minutes total for the entire
6
cooking
minutes.
of the fish?
6
Okay.
minutes. Yep.
And do you do 3 minutes each side? How do you do that? I've always,
So
wondered.
basically, good question. So basically, I like to get a nice brown crusty sear on it.
yum.
So basically, most fish I cook in a saute pan, I'll do probably 75% of the way cooked on one side, flip it over, and even almost turn the fire off and let it kind of just finish off.
Good tip.
Yeah. So if you think about it, it's sitting there for a long time, and it's gonna kind of cook through 75%, and you want to flip it over and turn off. You don't want to overcook it. That's the main thing. Do not overcook it.
Yes.
So salt and pepper, and I am using kosher salt. I am using freshly ground pepper. I can't stress that enough, you guys. If you're cooking at home, just grab a coffee grinder. It's my favorite thing, brand new coffee grinder. Save that for spices, and you grind your black pepper. You can do enough for oh my God, you see that just splattered on my face. That's all right.
I heard that's
What
good
did I
luck.
do to you? Was the margarita not strong enough? No, okay, I'm gonna add these guys now.
Okay.
So, and what the heck? We'll
I
add them all.
love the tip about the black pepper because I find myself grinding it
Yeah.
by hand, and then I always
Right.
just grab the already.
I mean, you
not
can
ground
do
just
that,
because-
right?
No, I love
But I
it.
mean, you grind this much for the house. This will last you for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And the difference between already ground and this is you can't even compare, So, all right. So now what you want to do is you kind of just want to
Uh-oh.
I'm good. I get it. Yeah, I don't feel my hands anymore. They're just they're just
Yeah,
there.
listen,
There's
years-
tools.
Years of burning
Tools of the
incense.
trade.
Okay.
So I'm kind of scraping the chorizo off the bottom now. But you get that wonderful brown smell right now. And you can see they're starting to open. Chris asked me something really important earlier. He said, is it true that clams and mussels and that kind of stuff and oysters, when they're open, does it mean you can't eat them? So when you get when we get clams in house, sometimes they are open. If you touch them and they close back up, they're alive.
Right.
If they're open, basically they're dead. If you've been keeping your eye on them and hey, I just got these yesterday and they just died last night, they're probably fine. But in general, you like to make sure that they're they're closed.
And this one is not Teflon coated.
This one is
because
not.
You want to get that.
I don't need that.
that
It's nice. It
yummy,
kind of
that-
browns a little bit in
yeah.
there, And okay, so now they're starting to open up. So the sauce we can kind of do ahead of time and let it sit. And before I do this, I'm going to add the fish in there. So
So when you put these in, were they alive?
they were alive. They're probably
They're not so.
they're like in a
alive.
jacuzzi right now. They're just like like bathing in
I did
there.
not think about that,
Oh, I know. Yeah, sorry. The old thing where they get in there and they warm it up. You know that in the cartoon and stuff. So I'm going to put this in the pan. I'm going to put it away from me.
Okay.
So there's a splatter. I have learned my lesson the hard way. Yes.
That's a good tip.
Away. Away. So, and this does have a little bit of water, so make sure I pat it off. And I actually have a towel here, so. And so you see it's moving in the pan. Good sign. If it's not moving, you're gonna have to get your spatula and really start, because you don't want to shred up the meat,
Okay,
you know.
so let's just say I was at home
Yeah.
and it wasn't moving.
Right.
But I don't want to get rid of my.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop
Right.
it yet.
Right.
So would I get a spatula, add a little more
Yes.
oil in there?
Yeah. So I've got.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I can start moving it around.
So there's a thing
after?
called a fish spatula, which is like this kind of longer spatula. It's got these kind of like an open spatula, and that's really nice because it's kind of flexible. You can get in there
Okay.
and really kind of nudge it off the bottom of the pan. But in this case, that's why the nonstick. I mean, you could pretty much put it in there cold, and it's not going to stick.
Okay.
But that's why if you use a regular pan, you really want to make sure it's hot. Okay, so I do have this cute little spatula, and that's good to go. So I'm going to put that back here. I'm going to salt and pepper both sides. So now I'm going to pepper this side as well. And really important, I season throughout, as we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover that up.
So this I see you're cooking at a medium level.
I'm
here
going to turn it
for
high
those
now,
at
actually.
home?
Yeah,
Okay.
for those home, it's like a medium high
Okay.
heat. And actually, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add
Medium
shallots.
high. Okay.
Okay, and then, so I've got cream, I've got white wine, so I'm gonna put the white wine next. And not too much, but the white wine it's gonna kind of create the base of the sauce and some acidity as well. I love cooking with wine, and
Someone told me a long time ago, you never use a wine for cooking that you wouldn't drink yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
A little
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
chef, a little for the
Exactly.
rest of
Exactly, yeah, wait,
yourself, a
speaking
little
of,
for
wait,
your
what happened?
food.
Where's the bars? Yeah. No, but you can see they're starting to open up a little bit, right?
Yes.
And you don't want to overcook it. That's the thing. Usually, what we'll do, like if we're flying in the restaurant, I'll put these, cover them up really quick, and as soon as they open up, we'll put the cream and the white wine in there and kind of finish the sauce. So, but they're already opening up, so I'm gonna actually add the cream
So that's
as well.
your tell. Once they start opening up a little bit, that's when you
Yeah,
start.
and I put about a half cup of cream in there.
And I noticed that the shallots
Mm-hmm.
that you used, you did not have to get them all around and get them brown. Some of them were just right on top still.
Yeah, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this to a boil right now, and we're gonna kind of cook it down. It's gonna reduce it a little bit, and I'm gonna turn it high. And you don't want to overcook. You don't want to overcook the clams. You don't want to overcook anything because it will get chewy. One thing is right when they open up, they're wonderful, and you want to just kind of like go from there.
I'm going to be honest with you, I've never tried one.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I mean, we're gonna try it
Today's
today.
the day.
You've never tried a
Because I
clam
got a
before?
margarita to
Oh
wash
my
it
gosh,
down
they're so
with,
great.
It doesn't work.
And so you can see right now the sauce is a little bit thin,
Yeah.
but what they're gonna do is it's gonna reduce and thicken up. And the clams also like sort of release this liquor. We call it like a liquor. It's like a oyster liquor or the juice inside, and it's like this beautiful, briny like juice that naturally is kind of held inside the clams. It's just really great, Oops. So that's that. And now we've got a couple of ingredients we're gonna put in there: lemon juice and lemon zest, garlic chives, and peas. I'm gonna wait till the peas because they are pre-blanched, so I don't want them to overcook and turn like weird green. So I'm gonna kind of put them in the last moment, as well as the chives. Any herbs I'm putting into sauce, I always put them in at the very end. And the reason why is because it's gonna be vibrant, the color's gonna stay there. If you put them in like now, it will be great, but you kind of lose it at the very end. You won't see those little like freckles of like, green specks in there, So, but it's coming together so, it looks really great on the sauce.
Okay.
You see the chunky, it's almost like a white, sausage gravy. All right, so a little tip on the lemon, I'll kind of like usually like push it down like this and it kind of breaks up the pulp a little bit, makes it a little easier when I'm juicing it. And this is called a zester, and I'll kind of just put just the outside lemon yellow part. The white pith is kind of bitter, so I stop before I get there. So I kind of do it, turn, and it is strong, so I don't want to put too much in there. Literally, that's all I'm putting in there, and I'm going to just kind of grab it with my knife. So that's a technique I use all the time. Just carefully do that. Grab what you have on your cutting board and bring it over to the.
So fine.
And look at how so fine. Yes. And you can imagine the oils from that are going to be just amazing, right? Okay, let's see how these guys are doing here. So, usually we've got these high-powered gas ovens and stoves in the kitchen, so we're doing a little campfire over here. But Now we got a little nice brown crust here, so I'm gonna kind of flip them over. Come on, there we go. And then, so also one little trick, really important. There's no skin on this. So when you take the skin off, you see how it's kind of brown on that side?
Yes.
The other side is much prettier. So I put the pretty side that you want to present up in the pan first. Then you cook that part. This is the pretty side right here.
Yes.
And so when we take it out of the pan, we'll go right onto the plate and you'll need to flip it again. It's a small little detail, but when you're doing, in the kitchen when we're flying and we were, really, doing our thing in there, that's really, really important. I'm gonna mix up this lemon zest a little, make sure that it was distributed nicely. And the shallots, you can see they're cooking right now, And you could add the shallots maybe at the beginning with the chorizo. As I think about this, I probably should have done that. But it's really cooking as we go. It's like these are the little tiny details that you could, maybe next time we do this dish, we'll do that, instead. So
The fragrance.
yeah, it's amazing.
Now, I've watched some of these cooking shows.
Yeah.
And it's just, they don't get it right.
Yeah.
You get yelled at. What's it like in your kitchen?
I don't yell.
Okay.
I don't yell. No.
Lucky Lucy.
No, those days are over. I used to. Yeah, I use my hands a little bit there. So I used to, I think and I was trained by some pretty hard chefs, and I don't know. I lived in Europe for a couple of years, and I really got my butt kicked, and I don't know. Maybe I have 2 kids now, and I'm a much more patient guy, and I think you can get so much more, better results when you're just I love being a teacher, and I just think it's a lot better that way, So
Do unto others as you want done to yourself.
absolutely, and I will raise my voice sometimes. Don't get me wrong, that will happen sometimes, but.
I mean,
Okay.
that's how it is at my house too. I don't yell at
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just, I want to take things, just kind of, I've learned to sort of take in the information, let it settle, think about my response, and then, so, okay, I'm going to turn this off. The fish, you can see, is starting to kind of flake apart a little bit, so I turn this pan off as well. Okay, and I'm going to let that sit. So basically, we got our garnish here. I'm going to put a little bit of the lemon juice in there. So I'm going to cut, I like to cut the ends off. I don't know, I feel like it sort of allows the juice to come out a little easier. I don't have a juicer thing, so I'm gonna use my fingers and just make sure there's no seeds in there, but I'm not gonna put too much lemon juice, just a little bit to kind of give it a little acidity. Okay, so just that much, not too much. And then, so now we're gonna put the peas in there. I'm gonna turn on the fire, just add that, make sure they're hot. The garlic chives. Flip that guy on again. Okay, so, and then of course we're gonna try a little bit of salt. I'm gonna add this here. So I'm just putting the salt there because,
Oh, another great tip.
what's that?
You just put it on one little area.
I put it in one little area, and the reason why is because I'm gonna kind of pull the juice here and sort of mix it in like this. You can kind of see. If I put it here, it's sort of just I don't know. It just feels more comfortable that way for me.
That is a great tip.
So, before I try, would you like to try it and tell me what you think?
All right.
The color on that's just beautiful.
So the color really comes from the chorizo.
Yeah.
It's got that, guajillo chili and the paprika and that stuff like that. So, all right, now that's done. The fish is ready to go.
So
Does it need more salt, anything like that, or it's good? Okay. All right. So here's my bacalao mashed potatoes that we talked about earlier. I already had them pre-done, and I'm going to add them here.
I feel like I'm on TV when they just keep eating and it's like, all
Right? You are on TV.
It's so
Let it
good.
be TV.
So good.
All right. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna put this back here.
yeah, go for it. Okay. So the fish is ready to go. This is ready to go. I mean, obviously you don't want to let it get cold. Mashed potatoes is going to take about a minute to cook. And so that while that's going on, we're going to talk about the presentation. So I've got these beautiful little plates here. All right. Would you mind grabbing that one below there?
Of course.
I'm gonna do one for the camera,
Okay.
and then
You
we'll
gonna
plate
grab
up the
any
other
fresh
ones.
herbs from the garden.
Yeah. How about some
Garlic chives.
garlic chive blossom? We've got a beautiful little garden here we actually have as well. How about some garlic chives and some, do you mind grabbing those?
Yeah. What would you like?
And maybe some African blue basil? It'd be nice.
Yeah.
African blue basil.
African
Got a
blue
beautiful
basil.
garden
so
over here in the corner for our drinks. too. I like
Something,
to pull a lot of the basil.
I planted a long time ago in my house, and it's a perennial plant, so it doesn't, perennial meaning it doesn't die. Every year it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's just got this beautiful, almost basil has a kind of an anisey flavor.
Yeah.
So you'll smell it. It's very, very nice.
And different flavored basils actually hold up during cooking.
Yeah.
This is just a regular sweet basil.
Yeah, absolutely. You got lemon basil. You got so many different types.
I
Yeah.
have Thai and holy basil at home.
Oh, really?
I have both of those.
So holy basil does
Both-
have more of the
yes,
of the
it goes
traditional.
wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. Awesome. So these are garlic chive blossoms. They're usually a little bit a little more vibrant and nice, but they have a nice purple color to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, this is the
smells.
Yeah, it's just
So
so
you're
nice.
actually going to use the flour?
I'm just gonna pull a little bit on there. We love using herbs, so we're just gonna kind of like pick the leaves on there and put them around there. So for the presentation, and I love doing this here. Actually, I'm gonna have you do one plate after me because it's
Okay.
kind of fun.
Okay. I'm going to
right.
fun.
This
Here, I'll
is
tell you
my
what.
favorite part. This is where the artistry
Yeah.
comes in.
Have them this over here. There you go, right? I can't wait to take one margarita for the team myself. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit of like a spoonful of this the squid ink sauce, not too much.
So do it
Yeah,
at the
we
same
can-
time,
we
or
can-
I'll
we
let
can
you
do a
finish.
margarita.
I'm gonna
Margarita.
show you one, and then you kind of just like go boom, 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 and it's kind of a cool design, right? I mean, it's like easy.
Artsy.
It is very artsy. I think it probably
You
started
need
as
that
an,
kind of dish, though.
as an accident, and then someone's like, oh, actually, it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay, so go for that.
Shall I
yeah,
switch you
go for it.
sides?
Yep. All right, and the mashed potatoes are ready. All right, so again, these are called brandade potatoes. You know, in France, like you'll get served like, oh, that's nice. Don't be afraid. Yeah, Chris will take it. He's like, I'll take him for the team.
That is fun.
Isn't that cool?
Yes. Can everyone see that at home?
I'm gonna
Show
put it
you,
back
Chef.
here because
Perfect. That is fabulous.
really. So
And mine.
Michael's like, I want to see that at home now. I can't wait to see. Yeah, but you can do that with like an aioli or like a barbecue sauce. Anything you know, kind of make it fancy. All right, so
Could even do it as a dessert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put that caramel down there.
I just wanted to mention, like you'll find this often in the south of France with just like a bowl of brandade with really good olive oil and like grilled croutons, and you just kind of eat it like almost like hummus. It's so good, so good. So, all right,
So am I switching you?
yeah, let's switch sides. Actually, I'm gonna have you do this.
Okay.
You're gonna do that. I'm gonna follow you with the sauce and the fish. So what I want you to do is I want you to put like 1/4 of that right on top of the sauce. You want to use your towel again? Is it kind of hot? You
I
good?
got
All right.
this.
Yeah. You're getting the callus now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team. So kind of just like, yep, there you go. Kind of pat it down a little bit. So a little bit more, maybe one little scoop, yeah. Cool, kind of
Making a
smash it down, kind of
margarita
create like a
for
little base
myself.
at the bottom of the spoon.
Enjoying the
There you
show.
go. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. And then, yeah, please. Yep.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh man. Cheers.
Put this down and join me.
Yeah,
Okay,
come.
Sorry, Chef.
Cheers.
It's all good. All right, perfect. So,
I gotta tell you, Chef, I'm liking her plating a little bit more than yours right now.
man, I know. Should I be?
Margarita.
We gotta hire. We gotta hire. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
gonna take over your job
The
soon.
tequila's kicking in. I know. I gotta. Okay, I better catch up. I say so. I'm gonna put just like I don't know. You can put whatever. You do 5, 6, 7 clams. Really up to you. I mean, if I'm doing it at the house with my friends, like everyone said, I want more clams. So you know, and you got the peas in there, and it's just
Here we
like.
go. Cheers.
Okay.
And I really, obviously, I like to kind of cheers, you guys. Okay, you know what? Here, fine. All right, my water bottle. I'm gonna, you know. All right, so yeah, kind of just spoon these clams, and all that chorizo and the peas and stuff. They kind of, you know, clump up inside the shell, just like that. And so I'm gonna just spoon some of this beautiful sauce. It's, you know, the garlic chives. Can you see the garlic chives? And they're so nice, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then the peas. I love the the theme of the clams and the chorizo. Okay, so now carefully grab the fish, kind of put it on top like this, and you see I turned off the fire and it carried through. So we're gonna have a really nice moist fish, you know. And there, up. All right, there we go.
There you go, Chef.
Ah,
Nice little sifter of some tequila for
that
you.
is why you my brother. Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Love you, man.
Cheers, everybody.
Yep. Here we go.
Sorry. Eye contact. Eye contact.
Eye contact.
Eye contact. My wife always reminds me of that, you know? Oh, this is good.
Delicious
All
tequila.
right. Before we start losing track of our dish here, I gotta make sure we forget ingredients. Okay. The pea shoots really just, actually what I have, I'm gonna take the pea shoots, these pea sprouts, and I'm just gonna kind of, I like to lightly coat them in olive oil, like just a couple drops.
I've never cooked with pea sprouts.
So if you go to like some like Chinese restaurants, they'll take these and they'll, you know, in a hot wok, like super hot, oil, a touch of garlic. These guys literally like 5 seconds out, and it's amazing because they're so juicy and nice. But this case, they're gonna be raw. They're very tender, but the oil kind of glistens them up. You see that kind of a little bit?
So the stems aren't bitter, like
No.
like a cilantro.
Please, no.
or-
No, not at all. They're very juicy and like,
Someone has to.
Right? super tender.
Oh yeah.
I don't. These are actually grown separately from pea plants. The actual pea shoots, they're a lot more woody and fibrous, and these are like very tender. So,
Those are good.
yeah. So kind of just like that. But you could always spread them around. But I'm gonna put the herbs on there as well. So, all right, and some garlic chives. So actually, these are the
Beautiful
flowers from the garlic chives. Yeah. And then the great African blue basil. You know, I just kind of want to pick them apart. You know, you don't want the leaves to be too big because they're gonna be kind of strong. But you see how it just adds such a beautiful, like, little touch to it, you know. And something that Chris taught me recently, I don't even know how I know this, but these are called suckers, the tops. Did you know that? Yeah. I didn't know that.
I do now.
I know.
And another great tip, if you want your basil to last longer, you keep picking the blossoms off the
Okay,
top
I
of your
did know
basil.
that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I like to garden.
Yeah.
And when I see those, I always
Yeah.
I smell them before I discard them.
Oh, yeah.
They
We,
smell
we,
All right.
delicious.
we actually
Here we
use
go.
them for a lot of our garnishes at the bar, so
So what do you guys think?
beautiful.
Looks nice. It's
Wow.
really a fun dish, you know. And
Should we show the camera?
and it's
this,
yes,
Chef?
we should absolutely.
Look at this.
Can I come in front and kind of just bring it up? Oh, there we go. Sorry, we have the magic camera
we have
right
the
here.
camera up here.
Ooh.
Wow.
Halloween. So it's cool because you're building the dish, right? So you're sort of like creating your palette with the black squid ink, and then then you have the white mashed potatoes on top, and then the red sauce, and it just comes out so nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You made it look so easy, and
It's all I do is cook. I mean, it's like I don't know how to do anything else.
and I'm not taking
Born to
anything
cook,
away
right?
from you. Not taking anything away from you, but this is something that us who are not chefs could really do at home so easily.
Yeah.
But it's all about the fresh ingredients that you used and this incredible recipe, and you've taken what you've learned in France
Yep.
and brought it here to Pez Cantina as well.
Yeah, I mean,
which is
so
fantastic.
Pez Cantina is a Mexican, so it's a modern coastal Mexican restaurant, but you know, I just love making Mexican food. I think I have a knack for it, and just Mexico, we travel a lot there, and so we kind of do a little bit of a technique, a presentation, I'd say change or enhancement to Mexican food. I mean, could this be a dish in Mexico? Absolutely. You know, you'll find the bacalao, you'll find the chorizo, you'll find the clams, you'll find the local halibut. They're probably not going to import the Alaskan stuff. So it's very, very, it's like it's something you would find at a high-end restaurant there, And another thing that's really important is like if you have mussels, use them. If you got extra oysters, use them. If you got parsley instead of basil, go ahead. Like there's no
And
limits.
dishes could be substituted
Absolutely.
if you didn't have a fresh halibut.
Yeah, exactly. So like just important for the audience to know that the fish on the recipe picture is not the same fish you're seeing here. You probably know that already. That's a skin-on bass, sea bass. So you can really change the different kind of fish you're using here. If you have salmon, it would be great.
And when you're cooking fish with skin, you always want to do the skin down.
If you're doing fish with skin, obviously it's got to be scaled, number one. And this really important, use a non-stick pan. Really important that the skin is dry. And because then you salt, pepper it, and you put it down in the pan, and you get it crispy. You kind of turn it down like medium, let it get crispy. Same thing. Once it's really crispy, flip it over, turn the pan off, and let it sit for So.
You had so many great tips today. I can't
Yeah.
wait to go back and rewatch this recording.
Yeah.
I know we're doing it live today for everybody, so I hope you definitely have learned some great tips today, and you are ready. You've made yourself a margarita or poured yourself a glass of wine or two.
Yeah.
And
Who's
you're
counting?
ready to get
Right.
started on your fresh recipes. So this is fantastic, Chef. And
Yeah.
I
So great
just-
having you here.
This was fantastic. I cannot wait to try it and
Yeah.
just do this again. Let's do this
Right.
again,
No,
shall we?
I'm really so
Love to have
happy
you
to be
back.
involved with this and Santa Monica Seafood and Let It Be, and just one of my favorite Beatles songs. Is like Let It Be. I was like, okay, something's meant to happen here. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
And I just want to give a shout out. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and to all you woman warriors out there fighting your fight, whether you're fighting now or you're in remission, or you're our loved one that because they didn't quite make their fight here on earth. Just kudos to you. We're here to celebrate you, and I know today cooking is Allison. She's one of our family advocates. She's been here from the very beginning, and her and her husband are cooking tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she is a survivor. And oftentimes, Chef, one of the things that people overlook, it's often not the cancer that kills you, it's all the complications and the treatment that come in and take lives. And so just wanted to give a shout out to all the brave warrior women out there.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I second that. Yeah, shout out, big time. Well, anytime we're here for you, you know, come with the family. We could do this again. We can cook. We could do it at my house, to your house. You know,
Great.
let's get together.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
Chef, and,
Yeah.
Cheers. And
Cheers.
Cheers.
Do you have any
Cheers,
questions
guys.
that we
Cheers.
need to answer that we missed? Oh, there was a couple
Oh,
questions.
okay,
So real
okay.
quick,
Yeah,
and
of
then I
course.
know
No.
It's Saturday night, and you've got to get cooking.
That's okay. And you got to get eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can sit down and try this.
Yes. And tasting that. And not tasting that straw.
Chris he's getting in there. He's like, I'm not waiting for him. I'm gonna get in there, you know.
I'm gonna come back over
Yeah.
I
here.
know Michelle had a couple questions writing down. The
Yeah.
audience had.
Okay.
Where can I purchase the Pez powder if I just want to get that on its own?
So Pez powder, you can find it at Bristol Farms Markets. You can find it at Super King Markets. We've also got it on the pezpowder.com website and
Amazon.com as well.
Amazon. Yep. So a few spots. We're working on getting to a market near you. It's something we're working very hard on.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Oh, and I should let everybody know that shortly after this presentation is over, we are going to put the video up on YouTube. And we'll post that on Santa Monica Seafood, all of our social media channels.
And we'll have it up
you
as
can
well.
access.
So
Perfect.
yes, looking
Thanks.
forward to it.
And then there was a question for you, Ruth. If they would like to learn a little more about the Let It Be Foundation and be in the loop for your latest events, how can they do that?
Well, that's easy. Go to theletitbefoundation.org and connect with us on the website, Instagram, Facebook. It's all at the Let It Be Foundation.
Is there a newsletter sign up?
There is a newsletter sign up, and yes, there is.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I know my girls have participated in like the 5K runs that you've had and other fun events you've done in the past.
And this year has been quite different. Not being able to do events, just like exhausted.
Yep, we hear you.
Thankfully, you have this
I know, it's
absolutely
amazing.
gorgeous patio
It's amazing.
with this view.
I know.
It's tough,
Yeah.
but and it's been a year that we've all had to shift and do life differently, but still keep our passions going. And
Yeah.
so thank you for making the time for us today.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
It's a year of growth.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Your growth, which is good.
I mean, it's been a good, you know, honestly, with all as difficult as it's been with the kids at home doing schooling and all these things, it's been an amazing year for us personally, Lucy and I, and our business and friends and family and everybody. Like just creative wise, and just being, you know, just the gratitude is just, you know, exuding from us. Really, it's just there's a lot of beautiful things happening right now. So we're
We
it's
all need a
day,
team
day at a
behind
time,
us.
day at a time.
It's a team.
Yes,
A
a
team
team,
effort.
absolutely, yes.
So thank you to the Let
Yep.
It Be team and all of the supporters who have kept us going now for over 14 years. This is crazy.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
Thank you, Chef.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for doing
Yeah.
all you do, Ruth. And Chef Bret, we can't thank you enough for doing this today. This
My
is
pleasure.
awesome.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
And I wish you guys could see this live. I'm just gonna tip that up for you a second. It is so beautiful. I'm gonna post some great pictures of these lovely plated dishes, and I think Ruth and her family gets to eat these, so I don't get to dig in.
We got something for you back
Yeah,
there.
we-
Yeah.
We'll make sure you're fed.
Well, thanks again for all of your hard work.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. All right.
Master. And hopefully we'll see you at another one of these very soon.
Okay.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.